The boardroom exuded an aroma of aged wealth and long-standing bitterness. Rich mahogany table, luxurious leather chairs that come with a hefty price tag, automobiles belonging to individuals, and at the forefront of it all sat Richard Hartwell, my father-in-law, gazing at me as if I were something he'd removed from his Italian loafers. I am rushing into things. Allow me to provide some context. I am Thomas Bennett. I am 63 years old. I'm no longer young, and I've been united in marriage with Catherine Hartwell for 37 years. We exist within a humble bungalow nestled in North York, Toronto. 1,600 square feet, featuring 2 bedrooms. The type of home where the sounds of the furnace kicks on in winter, and there's a distinct smell that fills the air. The neighbors are preparing dinner. Catherine and I crossed paths in 1985 at a fundraiser for the community center. She existed, offering assistance while serving coffee with a smile that warmed the chill of November, reminiscent of summer. At the age of 26, I found myself juggling 2 jobs, dressed in a suit jacket adorned with patches the elbows. She was indifferent. She observed, "There's a part of me that her family never would." 6 months later, we tied the knot. Petite ritual. Her parents were absent. Richard Hartwell emphasized that my daughter was marrying someone of lesser status, the station, and he desired no involvement with it. Catherine decided on me regardless. What is it? Richard was always unaware of what Catherine. She didn't fully grasp until it was much later. That I realized I wasn't merely some child of the working class hailing from Scarborough. My grandfather had quietly played a role in a number of mining operations in the northern region. At the moment, he passed away in 1983, and I received all that he left behind. Rights to minerals, property, investments that were finally beginning to yield results. In the year 1987, I held a value of $43 million. In the year 1995, approaching $200 million. As of 2010, merely more than $800 million. In this moment, should you wish to, be clear about it. I have value. Around $1.4 billion. I kept it to myself, never sharing a word with anyone. Not my associates at the production facility. I spent 3 decades in that place of employment. Not mine residents nearby. Not even my daughter Claire. Up until the age of 30, particularly not Richard Hartwell. Observe, Richard possessed Hartwell Properties, a commercial real estate company focused on estate development that constructed retail hubs and corporate skyscrapers throughout Ontario. He began it in 1972, with familial wealth and a respectable enterprise understanding. When I finally took the step to marry Catherine, he had a net worth of approximately $12 million, at ease, valued in specific circles. Unbeknownst to him was the fact that since 1989, I had been quietly acquiring equity in his enterprise via a corporation numbered 10% here, 15% there, consistently via legal representatives and offshore trusts, perpetually shrouded in anonymity. Through in 2003, I held a 47% stake in Hartwell. Attributes. I stood as the most prominent stakeholder. Each expansion Richard boasted about during family get-togethers, he attributed every successful development the funding for his leadership had been secured with. The capital I had sanctioned. Each time the company encountered a cash flow issue, my investment firm discreetly infused the essential resources. Richard Hartwell believed he had forged his own path. He possessed unaware that he had been constructing his empire on my funds for 20 years. What prompted my actions? Is it? To be honest, initially it was simply enjoyable enterprise. Hartwell Properties stood as underappreciated and set for expansion. However, as time passed and my contempt for you never wavered, it transformed something different. An unassuming assurance policy. An ace up my sleeve that I never meant to engage until the previous month. It began with a call from Catherine. Her voice possessed the way it felt so intense when she was struggling to hold back tears. "Father wishes to possess dinner," she remarked. "All of us," he says. "It holds significant value." Over the span of 37 years, Richard had extended an invitation to us for the marriage. Precisely 4 family dinners. Catherine's the funeral of a beloved mother, the celebration of Claire's graduation, Catherine's 50th birthday, where she devoted the whole evening to conversing with additional visitors. And now this. Did he mention, what is the reason? I inquired. He brought up a point concerning the organization. And Claire, our Claire, at the age of 35, remained unmarried, serving as a social worker in Regent Recreation Area. She had derived her values from her maternal figure, thank goodness. She resided in a quaint living in an apartment, driving a decade-old Honda, and devoted a significant portion of her earnings to assist clients who were unable to afford essentials. Essentials. Richard had always been let down by her, lacking in riches, lacking ambition, disinterested in the family enterprise. When I inquired, Catherine, Saturday at 7, at his house Rosedale. I had visited Richard's residence, perhaps a handful of occasions over the span of 37 years. Every visit seemed like a challenge I was meant to face unsuccessful. The dwelling stood as a testament to surplus, 6,000 square feet. Vintner, a home theater, a garage that accommodated 3 vehicles valued higher than our whole house. I informed Catherine that we would go. Whatever this is about, we will confront it side by side. On that Saturday, I donned my finest suit. I was just 10 years old when I found it on sale at a bargain shop. Yet it suited perfectly, and I maintained the pressure. Catherine donned a modest azure gown. We took our 2015 Toyota for a drive. Corolla gliding through the gentle November drizzle, beyond the grand estates of Rosedale, and arrived at Richard's circular the driveway, featuring a Tesla alongside a Mercedes already seated. The Mercedes was owned by Marcus, who is 42 years old, is Catherine's brother. Former vice president of sales at Hartwell Properties, relying on parental support and labeling it the journey of creating and building a business. We pressed the doorbell. A housekeeper I had never encountered before responded and guided us to the elegant dining area space. The table had the capacity for 12, yet, tonight, there were merely 6 places. Preferences. Richard leading the way, of course, Marcus with his wife Patricia seated to his right facing her, and 3 vacant chairs at the distant edge of letdowns. Catherine, Richard remarked, rising to his feet. They is now 71, still standing tall and domineering. Silver hair, tailored suit, a Rolex priced beyond the reach of the average individual. Automobiles. You appear to be in good spirits. He did not recognize me in any way. After 37 years, he still hadn't managed to bring her love. He extended his hand for a handshake. Catherine gently pressed her lips against her father's cheek. I gave a slight nod. I graciously settled into my seat at the far end. Upon the table, the arrangement of seats expressed all there is to know about our position in this family. "Where is Claire?" Patricia inquired. She had consistently shown more kindness than her husband, while lacking the necessary kindness to, "Have you ever stood up to him?" "She's on her way," Catherine remarked. She possessed a client urgent situation. She is expected to arrive shortly. Marcus examined his paddock. Fipe, ordinary. There are those who fail to grasp the importance of respecting others' time. I took a bite of my tongue. Marcus had never held a genuine day in his existence. Each role, the very first one he ever received, was given to him by his father. Each transaction he had ever completed was established by Richard's relationships. The housekeeper emerged with the initial course. The French onion soup, a type of dish crafted to evoke the feeling that you find yourself among individuals who view themselves as sophisticated. We dined in quietude for a brief moment. Subsequently, Claire arrived with an air of regret and a hint of disarray in hail. She had arrived directly from her job, continuing to don her functional attire and lugging her hefty bag brimming with cases documents. "Apologies for my tardiness," she remarked, planting a kiss on her mother's cheek and gently squeezing my shoulder as she walked by. She did not express regret to Richard. That was my girl. "Now that we're all gathered," Richard said, placing his soup spoon with careful consideration, "let me be direct. I am 71 years of age. I have created Hartwell, transforming the void into a singular entity, the pinnacle of commercial real estate success companies in Ontario. Yet I will refrain from doing so. Exist eternally." He took a moment to let the silence linger. Marcus leaned forward with anticipation. Catherine's hand intertwined with mine beneath the table. "I have come to the conclusion that it is time to establish the succession plan in a formal manner. Marcus will assume the role of CEO upon my retirement next year. The shift has already commenced. Marcus attempted to project humility but fell short entirely. I feel truly honored, Dad. I won't disappoint you. I understand that you likely won't. Richard shifted his focus to Catherine and Claire. Naturally, this impacts both of you too. Patricia and I have made some updates. The plans for our estate. Once we have departed, Marcus is set to inherit a controlling interest within the organization. Catherine, you will obtain a minor portion of equity, maybe around 5%. I sensed Catherine tense up next to me. 5%. Following a lifetime of existence, she was Richard's daughter, nothing more. Valuable to him. And Claire, Richard continued, you will receive a cash. Agreement reached. $250,000. I contemplated tying it to you transitioning to a new profession, yet your mother persuaded me that it would be unkind. Claire's expression was meticulously composed. In what manner, magnanimous? Richard overlooked the sarcasm completely. I have also put plans in place for Catherine's financial well-being. Thomas, I presume you've been establishing set-aside funds for retirement? It was the first occasion he spoke to me directly, the entire evening. We find ourselves at ease, I remarked, silently. At ease, Richard echoed, as though the word left a bitter aftertaste. Indeed, I have taken the initiative to organize an opportunity available at Hartwell Properties. Beginner positions in facilities management. $35,000 a year. It may not be significant, but at your age, it's important to appreciate every work. The pension benefits consist of adequate. Silence enveloped the table. Even Marcus appeared uneasy. Catherine's the tone was piercing. Father, Thomas does not... It's fine, I said as I squeezed her hand. Allow him to complete his thoughts. Richard gazed, delighted. He believed he had achieved a victory. The role commences in January. You will submit your findings to Marcus. I anticipate timeliness and a robust commitment to hard work. Do you believe you can... How can that be handled? 37 years? 3.5 decades of this, the disdain a man shows when entering rooms and observing him walk away. To the act of listening, he explained to the dinner guests that my daughter has chosen to marry a factory worker, as though I were something to be embarrassed about. Confidential, I had never wished to embark on this journey. I never felt the need to demonstrate anything to him. As I sat there observing him extend his offer to me leftovers from his table, as if that's my place. Thankful, a change stirred within me. How considerate of you, I remarked. However, I must respectfully decline. Richard's brows rose. Could you please repeat that? I have no interest in the role. Not intrigued? Richard chuckled. Thomas, at the age of 63, you stand at a significant point in your journey. You spent 3 decades laboring in a factory. You lack education and skills that adapt to the contemporary economic landscape. I am extending a helping hand to you. I thank you for that, but I'm rather at ease with my present circumstances. Marcus leaped in. Tom, perhaps you don't comprehend. This presents a genuine opportunity. $35K may not seem significant, yet with advantages and the retirement scheme. I comprehend completely, I stated. I'm not inclined to pursue that. Richard's visage was transforming crimson. I have no interest in that. Do you have any thoughts on how many men in your age group would go to great lengths for this opportunity? You are being presented an opportunity to truly make a difference, something for this family, instead of continuously weighing on my daughter. Richard, please stop, Patricia said softly. He must hear this. 37 years, Thomas. 37 years of observing your struggles. Catherine meets you where you are, existing in that little dwelling, navigating that awkward vehicle, always denying her the life she truly deserved. At this moment, as I find myself presenting you with an opportunity to ultimately create, there's a part of you that exudes pride to embrace it. Catherine rose to her feet. Father, that will suffice. We are departing. Take a seat, Catherine. This matter is not your concern. Is that not my concern? You have just offended my spouse, the man I have cherished for 37 years, the individual who has become more of a father to Claire than you ever were. A dad. He was unable to support her in any way, correctly. Are you aware of what the partners at my firm, mention that when they inquire concerning my son-in-law? They share a laugh. Those individuals, they genuinely laugh when I mention you tied the knot with a factory worker. I rose to my feet gently. The dining room had become quite calm. The housekeeper had ceased her tasks. Transitional. Richard, I mentioned, I believe there has been a miscommunication. There are in fact misunderstandings. And it is the moment we resolved those issues. Who are you? What are we discussing? I retrieved my phone. I opened my email and discovered the message I had crafted that morning after Catherine revealed to me the true nature of this dinner concerning. I am referring to Hartwell, your company, the empire you build, properties, created from the ground up. What is your take on it? Indeed, that isn't quite correct, is it? One didn't create it from scratch. You created it with significant assistance from silent backers, including your most significant. Richard waved dismissively at the shareholder. The organization possesses multiple institutional stakeholders. This is a common procedure for any thriving enterprise. Indeed, however, the investor possesses a greater number of shares than anyone else. Others together. Precisely 47%. I am intriguing, Richard. Have you ever pondered, who is that investor? In the beginning, time, uncertainty danced across his visage. The details are classified, shielded by confidentiality agreements. It is. However, I can reveal the identity. Could you? Would you like to know? Marcus chuckled uneasily. Tom, what are you up to? You are making a fool of yourself. I switched off my phone in the direction of Richard. I presented the email to him on the display. It was sent by my lawyer to Richard's business email address about half a minute ago. The subject line stated, Notice of beneficial the revelation of ownership. Richard's expression turned ashen as he perused. Indeed, his hand quivered as he extended his hand toward his own mobile device. What is this? He murmured. This is an official announcement of the ownership that is advantageous. Currently, this. Good morning. Bennett Holdings Limited has submitted the required documentation to the Ontario Securities Commission is set to disclose its share in Hartwell. Bennett Holdings possesses a 47% stake in properties. Your organization, Richard. I am Bennett Holdings. The sequence that ensued was complete. Even the noise of the rain of November tapping softly on the windows appeared to come to a halt. That can't be true, Richard stated. It's not. I've been the biggest stakeholder since 2003. Prior to I maintained smaller positions as I progressed. Returning to 1989, each significant expansion you have embarked upon over the past 2 decades was financed with capital I approved. Each time the company encountered a significant cash flow crisis, my investment firm provided the essential resources. The progress in Markham in 2007, the office tower located in Mississauga. In 2012, the shopping center located in Burlington last year. Everything was financed by my cash. Marcus seized his father's phone. He should check the email on his phone himself. This is an instance of deception. Tom lacks. This amount of money? It's simply unattainable. I retrieved another document on my mobile device. My latest financial statement. Net worth, $1.4 billion. This is my portfolio, Marcus. Diversified. Allocations in the mining sector and the real estate market. Innovation and sustainable power sources. Hartwell Properties stands as a representative roughly 3% of my overall assets. Catherine was gazing at me, not with frustration, yet infused with a sense of awe. Thomas, why did you never share this with me? For it was inconsequential. Wealth holds no significance. Transform our identities. Catherine, we existed content in our cozy home. We nurtured an amazing daughter. We possessed all that we was necessary. However, you allowed my father. She was unable to complete the thought. I allowed. Your father believes what he wishes to believe. His perception of me was never founded on truth. It stemmed from his personal biases. No matter what I expressed would have transformed that. Richard discovered his voice once more. This is a ruse, a sort of an intricate deception. I would have been aware if you held the most significant stake in my endeavors. When was the last time you truly? Have you examined your shareholder registry? The filings are a matter of public record, Richard. They have stood the test of time. You simply never took the time to verify because you presumed that a person of my kind could never exist. Someone of that nature. I rose to my feet, fastening my suit jacket. The email you just sent an invitation to has been received. Urgent board meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. As the largest. As a shareholder, I am initiating a vote on the existing framework of leadership. Considering the recent challenges faced by the company in terms of performance and the worries of various board members have shared in confidence regarding the prevalence of favoritism in hiring, I anticipate the outcome of the vote is unlikely to be in your favor. I can't do this. Marcus remarked, Dad constructed this organization. He constructed it with my wealth, and he has been generating progressively unfortunate choices. The Oakville project that is 6 months overdue and 3 exceeding the budget by $1 million. The catastrophic venturing into the Alberta market. The lawsuits regarding sexual harassment from 3 previous women employees that the organization calmly established. Should I continue? Richard's face had shifted from crimson to ash. You scoundrel. I offered you an opportunity this evening, a position, a method to ultimately make a meaningful contribution to this family. This is how will you make amends to me? Pay you back? I chuckled. Yet it lacked any trace of humor. Richard, I have no obligations to you. You have dedicated 37 years demonstrating that I wasn't skilled sufficient for your daughter. I was in shame, a weight to carry.